Hello everyone, it's Christy and I'm back with another super awkward voiceover. I know y'all are so glad to hear my voice again, but I figured that this one, since it is drawing almost exclusively, that it would probably be better if I actually did a voiceover for this one rather than just doing the music, so that I can explain some things. Okay, so this lovely piece right here is going to be for Monroe. She commissioned me to do a logo for her, and she was wanting to really lean into some Serbian folklore and things, and I had no clue what we were going for. So she sent me a reference image that is actually at the top of this. It is a Strigaiza, I think. Something close to that, but it was like this really cool looking bird creature that also kind of is female in a way when I was looking at the image, and obviously stock places had nothing at all that resembled this, and I've been trying to avoid drawing anything at all, bunch of different reasons, but I didn't really want to draw if I don't have to. It also saves me a lot of time if I don't have to draw, but this one obviously needed that, so that's what we did. With this image, I used my reference image up top. I sketched out everything, like certain placements. I put the lines down because I knew that that was where we were going to put the KK on the bottom. So I wanted those to be as symmetrical as I possibly could. I mostly used the pen on a very small line because I wanted those details, but I knew that I would go in and make those details darker later. So I was absolutely fine with those being very, very light to start with. I also used the pencil brush, I guess technically is what you would call it, on Sketchbook to do some of these, especially some of the shading areas. But I will say that I've been drawing in my sketchbook again lately, and there is such a difference in the way that you can make lines on an actual piece of paper versus on this. Also, I'm realizing right now that that feather, like the 4 finger feathers and then that feather that's right under it, looks like I attempted a thumb, and that's not what I attempted. But for right now, it just looks like a really awkward hand, which hands are not my best. I can safely admit that. But, yeah, it looks awkward right there. But anyway, as I was saying, I've been sketching in my sketchbook again lately, and the way that you're able to do fine lines on a sketchbook versus on the tablet is so strange, because I almost wish I had done this in my sketchbook instead, but I'm waiting to get a table mount camera holder so that I can start recording those as well. But I don't think I'm going to do very many sketchbook customs or pre-mades again. It's too much hassle at this point. But that's completely off the subject. Anyway, yeah, I love a lot more how to do these little fine lines on a sketchbook paper rather than on the tablet, because like the actual pencil brush is awful, actually. You can't get it small enough. It's just awkward to use. So, yeah. I did my best to give it that sketchy look, though, because that is the look I wanted to go for with this. But definitely would have preferred to do this in my sketchbook instead. But anyway, I've also been trying to work on actual lettering, and I was super, super happy with how this K turned out. I used the lines to make sure that the lines were straight and crisp, and then I filled it in. I kept trying to fill it in with the fill-in tool, and it just kept turning my whole page black. So obviously there was an open spot somewhere and I just could not see it. But yeah, I decided to start filling in the letter K. I wanted it solid black because we didn't discuss this beforehand, but like I was under the impression we were just doing a black and white logo. So that's what I started doing with this. I started filling it in because I wanted that black to really stand out, even though I knew that part of this particular K was going to be hidden. And then I duplicated it, mirrored, and then started hiding it in because I wanted that sort of, more effect of things are hidden. Is something that I've been trying to play with a lot lately, is these dimensions with fonts and things like that. So I definitely wanted to try that out here. I actually get so excited every time that I'm able to like partially hide a letter behind something in a cover now. Don't ask me why. Like the biggest one I could think of is when I did the Pressing Matters cover for Paul Avery Tyndall. I was so excited to make some of those letters hidden behind that hand that it made me irrationally happy. So with the rest of this, we're just giving it a little more detail, a little more depth. I did use the pencil tool in this back section. I started off light because it's easier to just build it up and then I multiply it. So like on Sketchbook, you can duplicate a layer, which is what I did and what I started doing on this. And I thought that I could blend this in, but that wasn't working, so I just got rid of it and did it manually. But I duplicated it and changed the contrast on it so that we could start building up that collar. I also knew, like I always do, that I was going to go back in after I finished and went to VSCO so that I could put a filter on this to really tie it all together. There's just something to me about going on VSCO and changing all of the different filters and stuff that makes an image look more cohesive to me. I don't know if I'll feel the same when I start doing the sketches more, because I have a personal project that I'm going to be recording my sketches for, so stay tuned for that. But I don't know if I'll be doing the filters over those, but I do, for professional things, love adding these filters to it. But right now I was just cleaning up some of these lines. I didn't want them too clean. Like I said, I really wanted to keep that sort of sketchy look to it. I really liked that, and I forgot how much I liked that until I started using my actual sketchbook again. You get so used to drawing on like these tablets and things like that I truly did forget just how much I love a piece of paper and a pencil. Like, obviously, you can do so much more on the tablet as far as, like, when you make mistakes and things like that. Like, you have a lot more wiggle room, and that's really nice for customs, in my opinion, because drawing takes a long time. This is a time-lapse video, and, it's, like, over 8 minutes long already. So, doing this on a tablet is a lot easier when it comes to actually doing commissions, but I personally prefer my sketchbook. So that was the finished object. I put my little tag and then went over the VSCO. I started changing contrast and exposure because I wanted it dark. I wanted it to stand out. Didn't take that long, obviously. Looks like I just stared at it for a long time. But yeah. And then I went over to Canva and I needed to remove my image because I forgot to when I saved this image. So I ended up going to the magic eraser tool on it and getting rid of that image. And then after it did, I will remove the background completely on this. Also, how do you guys feel about some of these tools on Canva? Like the expanding one, I don't want to use because I feel like that's more generative AI. Because it creates something. But like using a background remover, I feel like those are on most Photoshop things, right? Like just let me know if that does constitute for you guys as AI, because if it is, obviously I can go in manually and remove it. But on the other hand, it's also super easy to just use this tool and it remove it for you, right? Alright, this was an afterthought, but I was a little worried that with as fine line as the hair was, that putting this on a shirt or a book or anything like that might get rid of some of those little fine hairs. So I was like, maybe I should do some sort of little background on the back so that if she puts this on something, it's, easier to see those things. It gives it more of a backdrop. But I had in my mind a certain shape I wanted, and I could not find this shape. So what I ended up doing was I tried this one. I didn't really like it. It was just not right. So I was scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, and I came across these trees. And I was like, this isn't going to completely do what I want it to, but I ended up really loving the way that it looks behind it. I feel like it gives it so much more character, so much more dimension. And obviously, if some of those details do get lost, we can go back in and we can add something else behind there. I can turn this into a white block like some logos are. But just, yeah. Most of the rest of this, I was just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, trying to figure out other things. But, yeah. I scrolled for quite a while, actually, and then ended up saying, yeah, this is exactly what I wanted. So, I was playing around with the placement. I wanted the trees to show, but I didn't want them to also overpower her. And I'm a little worried now looking at it that it almost looks as if she's way bigger than the trees. But, it is what it is. We do it for the aesthetic, not for realism. That should be my new motto on this channel, honestly. Yeah, so then I just went in with the image and I was sharpening up a little bit, playing around with the clarity and stuff like that. I just wanted it to stand out as much as possible. But this is the finished logo. KK approved of it. And we're going to be making a colored version, so you'll probably see both. So yeah, please subscribe to this channel. And feel free to hit me up if you want a commission done. Like I said, I try not to do too many drawing things anymore for a bunch of different reasons. One of the main ones being that they just take a long time. But feel free to hit me up if you need a new logo or a new cover, or check out my pre-made site. And thanks you guys for watching.